Okay, so hey guys, so today's video is going to be a video that I've been so super excited to film, and this is an update on the products that I've been trying to work on using up this year. I goaled myself earlier this year to try and use up as many products as I could, and this is my 6-month update video. I have a lot of products that I want to share with you that I tried to goal myself to use up. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. But I've been working on Holy Grail products and trying to use up certain things because I don't use up things often if it's unless it's a concealer or a foundation. So I really am really trying. So I'm just gonna share with you the things that I've used up. So this one's a no-brainer. I mean, this is the second one I've used up. So first off, I'm gonna start with primers. So the first primer I used up was the Smashbox Primer Water. I have went through one full bottle of this before, and this is the second bottle I used up. I believe this was the bottle that I was working on in the video that I filmed earlier this year. This does take a while to get through, but I do eventually finish it. I'm on my third bottle right now. So it's not really that hard for me to use this up. It's basically something I use every single day. I freaking love this. So that's the first thing. That's really not something that was that difficult. And then the other primer I said I was working on was the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in the Smoothing Primer. Again, it was pretty easy for me to go through this. I think I'm almost done with it. I'm pretty much down to here. So there really feels like there's really no product in here. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna come out right now. Yeah, there's still some left, but it's basically to the bottom. So yeah, I'm probably gonna throw this in a products I've used up video really soon. But I don't use them up too often. I'm actually working on the Stila one too, and I'm gonna be almost done with that one, but that's become my favorite primer ever. So that's basically I use it almost every single day. But this I used for a while, basically every day as well. I love this primer, so that's another one. And then that's it for primers. I mean, I probably will work in the Stila one as well, but I didn't have to really include it because it's something I know it's really easy for me to use up. So I'm almost done with that one as well. So now let's jump into foundations. Now, this first foundation I have used up before. And I'm talking about my Holy Grail foundation, and this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. If I'm talking a little weird, I'm sorry. I feel like there's a little bit of a spiciness on my lip. Not my lip, on my tongue, because I just ate a salad from Cheesecake Factory. I think it had a little bit of I don't know, pepper or something, and my tongue feels a little bit weird, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 5. I recently have stopped purchasing this shade because this shade is way too dark for me, but I have used up an entire one of this shade before, and I pretty much was almost to the bottom of this one too. But I just wanted to say that I pretty much used it up all the way, not completely, but I pretty much just, stopped using it. I mean, there is still products in here, but I stopped using it because it was way too dark, but it's pretty much to the bottom. But I know I said earlier this year that I was goaling myself to use up this one, but I decided to not use it anymore because I did purchase it in the right shade for me, and I'm actually wearing that one today, so that's the one that I'm working on. But again, it's not difficult for me to use up this foundation because I pretty much use it twice a week, if not more than that. This is my favorite foundation ever, so it wasn't really a big deal for me to try and use up that as well. And then the other one that I've goaled myself to use is the YSL Touche Éclat Le Tint Touche Éclat Foundation. And this is the color B10 Beige. I feel like this is the never-ending foundation. Look how much I still have in here. It barely looks like I've even touched it. I mean, I can shake it up and show you, but I feel like there's so much product in here. So I feel like you really get your money's worth out of this. And this is, again, one of my favorite foundations as well. So I wear this pretty much a couple of times a week as well, and I really love this one. I really wish the Giorgio Armani had SPF in it does in this one, because this one is so great because it has SPF, and especially in the summertime you want that in your foundation sometimes. So I tend to gravitate this more often, especially if I'm working patio shifts at my job. if I have to work outside, I'm always usually grabbing this foundation or the Tarte foundation because I always know that they at least have SPF in them. Sorry, I'm just looking at my lipstick. It's kind of annoying me right now, so I just have to fix the corners. Just give me one sec. Yeah, that definitely looks better. Different. Oh. Whatevs, we're just gonna roll with it. I think that looks fine, actually. So anyway, and we'll talk about that lipstick later. But that was the other foundation. So I'm really trying to use this up by the end of the year, but it's been pretty difficult because I feel like there's so much product in here. And I'm pretty sure this is only one, yeah, it's only 1 fluid ounce. And I feel like maybe it's just the bottle that it feels like, maybe the packaging's just a little bit deceiving, but I feel like it hasn't really gotten any lighter, and I use this so much. It's not like I don't use it. So yeah, love those. And now let's get into some concealers. I'm pretty sure I mentioned my Bare Minerals concealer in my video, but I've already gotten rid of that because I pretty much was almost done with it anyway. So I'm just going to include my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is my #1 most used product, most used up product. I probably have just purchased like my 6th one of these. This is my favorite concealer of all time, but also I just wanted to include it in this video just to say I probably will go through at least 2 more before the end of the year is over. I think I purchase it at least twice a year. But I've been through like 5 of them already. So, and I think I just started using it like last May or April, so I think it's like 4 at least last year. I don't know, it's crazy. But this is another one that I actually just used up. So just telling you that I use this up. Obviously I use it pretty easily. I throw it in products I've used up videos basically like constantly. And then the other concealer is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the color Fair. I actually did use this one up, and I did include this in my products I've used that I want to use up. This is the first one I've used up, and I definitely went out and repurchased a new one. I really love using this for touch-ups during the day, like if I'm out. And also because it's the cheapest concealer I have, and like I've said before, if it's something cheap that I end up losing, if it's like in my bag, I'd much rather it be a $3 or $4 concealer like this that I can just go out and repurchase for $3 than like a concealer like the Urban Decay or like the Stila. I mean, obviously I don't bring the Stila with me because it's not a doe foot applicator, but I don't want to throw my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and then end up losing it in my, like having it fall out of my bag, and then I would be upset that I would have to go purchase a $30 concealer again. So it's not just because it's drugstore that I keep it in my bag, it's also because it's extremely inexpensive and it's the best drugstore concealer out there. Like I use this so much anyway that I use it constantly to like touch up around my chin area if I get like food there, if I have to wipe lipstick off. Like I'm always grabbing this and using it when I'm out. So I love this. So just saying that I did use up my first one, and obviously I went and repurchased it right after I used it up. And then the last thing before we get into eyeshadows is just one eyeshadow primer. The NARS one expired, so I'm not including it in this video. And I pretty much stopped using it after I started using this and the MAC Prep and Prime. But I wasn't going to include the MAC Prep and Prime because I feel like that's going to take me forever to get through. But I wanted to mention the Smashbox 24-Hour Primer because I did mention it in my products I want to use up video. I feel like I'm doing a pretty awesome job on this. I feel like it's basically almost done. I feel like it's just coming out of this part. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much almost done with this. So I will be very excited to use this up. I don't think I even used up the Urban Decay one that I originally had. I think it just expired. Oh my god, excuse me. So yeah, if I use this up, I'll be very excited. I think it'll be like the first eyeshadow primer that I use up. I know, that's crazy, but again, eyeshadow primers last a really, really long time. So now let's get into eyeshadows. So, let's get into my Makeup Geek shadows first, because you guys know I probably did go myself to use up quite a lot. I'll have to say I've only hit pan or used up 4 eyeshadows. When I say used up, it means I've only used up 2 eyeshadows, so I'm going to share them with you, and then I've only hit pan on 1 eyeshadow. I know that's crazy, but we're just going to share them with you. So the first one is, I mean, this one's kind of a no-brainer. This is the only eyeshadow that I ever actually use up, and this is Makeup Geek's Peaches and Cream eyeshadow. You guys know that this is my favorite eyeshadow ever for a transition shade. I don't use anything else. Like, it's like really hard for me to use something different if I'm not doing a natural look. It's just my favorite. I just feel like it's the perfect warm neutral shade that has just a hint of orange in it, but it doesn't look orange. It's just so beautiful for fair skin. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that I used up another pan. I have used up this eyeshadow before last year, and this is the second pan of this eyeshadow that I used up. So that is the first one, and I'm very proud of myself for using it up again. And also, I am working on a third one, but it's in the Manny MUA Makeup Geek palette, so I just wanted to show you the progress I'm making on that one. But again, this one is so easy for me to use up because it's my transition shade, so I'm going to be using it all the time, and it's going to be easy for me to hit pan on it or use it up. So this is this shade right here, and I made a pretty substantial dent in the center, so that one is pretty good. I think I'm going to go myself to use up maybe one more shadow in this palette though. So it's not going to be hard for me to hit pan on this one, because the reason why I didn't go out and repurchase an individual pan of it again is because I have it in this palette. So why do I have to go buy another one when I can just work on the one that I have already? So I've been using it constantly. It's not like just because it's in the palette that I stop using it. But I think what I'm going to do is that I think I'm going to add this eyeshadow to work on hitting pan on, because I feel like I've made a pretty substantial dent in the center already. This is my favorite shade in this palette, and this one is called Luna. And that's that foiled eyeshadow right there. It's so gorgeous. Let's just give a little swatch. Why not? It's like this gorgeous rose gold eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, and it's part of Manny MUA's collection. But I feel like it's such a gorgeous foiled eyeshadow that I feel like I kind of want to try to hit pan on it, because this is like the only lid shade that I wear in this palette. Every single time I use it, I only use this shade on the lid because it's so gorgeous. So I'm always like gravitating using like these 5 or 6 colors here. So I'm going to maybe go myself to use that up. So that's the progress I made on that eyeshadow. So I just wanted to show you that. And now let's get into another shadow that I've hit pan on. But I just want to show you another pan really quickly. I didn't use this up myself, but I have to include it in this video because I have to tell you the progress I made on it. I probably did say it in a couple of other videos, but I just wanted to say that I'm going to mention the Starry Eyed Foiled Eyeshadow pan, but I didn't use this up myself, which really sucks because I did tell you guys that I did drop my Z palette of my foiled eyeshadows like a month or 2 ago, and a lot of my shadows like got damaged. I mean, like not really damaged, just like a little bit, but obviously they were still like held together. There's like a bug flying around in my room, so if I like start like spazzing a little bit, I don't know if it's like around me still. It's really annoying. But anyway, this one was the one eyeshadow, of course, that I like completely damaged. And I was like, of course it had to be that one, the one that I was really trying to hit pan on. Because I hit pan on this one faster than I hit pan on the next eyeshadow I'm going to talk about. But I was so upset when this was shattered. But before it was shattered, I had hit pan like around the center, like maybe like this much, like maybe like this much. So I was really upset that I wasn't able to use it up myself. But I have to mention it because it is an empty pan, but I am working on my second shade now, my second pan now. Hopefully I'll be able to use that up by the end of the year, but I'm probably not going to. Because actually I'm going to be completely honest. Let's just jump into it like right now. We'll jump into it after. I'm going to talk about the other shade that I've hit pan on. So from my Z palette of Makeup Geek shadows, we're going to talk about the matte shades first. You guys know that I was pretty confident in hitting pan on this shadow at the beginning of the year. So this one is Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee. You guys know that this is like my holy grail crease shade. So it wasn't really hard for me to hit pan in the center. So there was a point where I was using this a couple times a week so I could be able to hit pan on it. So yeah, I hit pan on the center. I'm really happy about that. So it's not going to be too hard for me to use this shadow up. The only reason why it takes longer to hit pan on this one is just because this one is a lot more pigmented than Beaches and Cream. But I am super happy that I hit pan on this one. That's the only other one I've hit pan on. But I'm going to show you the progress on all the other shades that I'm working on. But yeah, I'm really excited that I hit pan on that one. So the first one that I'm pretty close to hitting pan on is Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean, and that's what it looks like. See how much progress I've made in the center there? There's a pretty big dent, so I'm probably going to hit pan on this pretty much any day now. The only reason why, again, that I haven't hit pan on it yet is because these are very pigmented, so I don't really need to use too much. I'm not wearing it on my brow bone today because I'm wearing the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette today, which we will get into. But this one is like basically my favorite brow bone highlight like of all time, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit pan on it. I use this so much. I use it like every time I wear Makeup Geek shadows out, or if I'm wearing like a palette that doesn't have a brow bone shade, I'll just pop this on because this is my favorite. So it's not going to be very hard for me to hit pan on that one. Then the other ones I'm working on is Makeup Geek's Shimma Shimma, and this one is a shimmery shade, and as you can see, again, I've hit a pretty big dent on the center of the pan. Let's give it a little swatchy swatch, right? Why not? It's so pretty. But yeah, see? It's not going to be very hard for me to use this one up either. But this was pretty much where Starry Eyed was. That's like how big of a dent that I had in it. It just sucked that I had to shatter. But yeah, this one is really gorgeous too. This is one of my favorite inner corner highlights. That's what it looks like right there. So pretty. Then the next shade I'm working on still is Makeup Geek's Rapunzel, and this one is more of like a yellow gold shade, and that's what it looks like. Again, I've made a pretty big dent on the center there as well, and let's give that one a little swatch too. So yeah, that's what it looks like after swatching it. So I'm pretty confident in hitting pan on all of these shades. It's not going to be very hard. And that's what it looks like right there. It's like that yellow gold shade. It's so pretty. And then the other two that I'm working on is Makeup Geek's Frappe. These ones are a little bit harder to hit pan on, and I use these so much. Like this I use constantly in the crease to define it more, and it's just so hard to hit pan on. But I have made a little bit of progress in the center, but not anything too substantial. And then the other shade, of course, is Makeup Geek's Latte, which looks like that. Again, I haven't really made any major progress on it, but I have put a little dent in it. So those are the matte shadows that I have tried to work on. And I think I'm going to add Cupcake to this because I've been using this shade a lot lately, and I've been pretty good at making a dent on the center of this one. I use this pretty often in the spring and summer, so yeah. I'm going to add that one. It's such a pretty like matte cool tone pink shade. So that is it for the matte shadows and the shimmery shades in this palette. I'm not sure if I'm going to, you know what? I think I'm going to add Nylon and All That Glitters as well. Let's just try and challenge ourselves as much as possible. So I'm going to add these two shades from MAC. This one is MAC's Nylon. I love this shade so freaking much. It's such a gorgeous inner corner highlight. And I've been doing okay with this shade. I mean, not like amazing progress, but we'll see about that one. It's so beautiful. It's like, I use it more than Starry Eyed sometimes. It's so pretty. And then the other one is All That Glitters. I've been doing pretty well in the center of this one. I mean, it looks like I've made a little bit of a dent in there, so I kind of want to try and at least hit pan on this one as well, because I love these two shades. They're probably my two favorite MAC shades like ever. So I think we're going to try and hit pan on those. So those are the three eyeshadows that I'm going to be adding is Makeup Geek's Cupcake, MAC's Nylon, and MAC's All That Glitters. So now let's get into some of the foiled eyeshadows from Makeup Geek. So the first one we have, oh geez, let's not drop it again. So the first one is Starry Eyed. I did say before that I'm working on a new pan, so hopefully I'll be able to hit pan on that by the end of the year. So that's the first shade right there. I just started working on it a couple of days ago, so hopefully we'll be able to make some progress on that. So the first shade that I've made pretty good progress on is Makeup Geek's Whimsical. And this one is like one of my favorites to wear when I'm wearing like a pink look when I go out, and it's just such a gorgeous inner corner highlight. So I've done a pretty good job on working on that one. This is one of the shades that hit the counter pretty hard, so that's why it has like dents in it. And the other one is Makeup Geek's Magic Act. Again, same deal. But I've done a pretty good job on that one as well. These ones shouldn't be hard to use because I use them so much. Then the next one is Makeup Geek's In the Spotlight, and this one doesn't look like it was really that damaged, but this one looks like I've probably made the most progress on because there's definitely a big dent in the center. So I'm pretty confident on hitting pan on this one as well. So those are the foiled eyeshadows. Those ones I use the most often, and then I feel like some of the dual chromes I might be able to hit pan on as well. The first one, so I guess I'm adding these ones. I'm not sure if I had these in the actual video, but this one is called I'm Peachless, and that's what it looks like. It's like this really pretty peachy color, and I've made a little bit of a dent in the center. We'll see if we continue to make more progress on that. I did just recently use these on the lid, I'm pretty sure, or maybe in the inner corners. Oh my god, I can't pick these up to save my life. And then the other one is called Mai Tai. And this one is more of like an orangey shade. And it looks exactly like a Mai Tai, honestly. It's so pretty. And this one I've made more progress on the center than the first one. So that's pretty good. And I think I did talk about Makeup Geek's Pegasus as well. If I didn't, I'm going to add this one too, because this is one of like my go-to shades in the summertime, so I'm going to try and use it more this summer too. I have made a pretty substantial dent. This is one like my favorite colorful one. It's so gorgeous. So that is it for the foiled and dual chromes. Actually, let's add this one Blacklight as well. I feel like I've hit pretty substantial progress on the center of this one too. This one's like a lavender purple. It's so gorgeous. So I'm going to try and hit pan on that one too. So that's it for those. It's not as hard to hit pan on single eyeshadows than it is in palettes. So now let's talk about some single eyeshadows that aren't Makeup Geek as I'm dropping them. So the first one is my Holy Grail eyeshadow, and this one is, I'm talking about a couple of ColourPop ones. So the first one is ColourPop's Super Shock Shadow Pearlized Finish in the shade Kathleen Lights. And this one is like more of like a bronzy, goldy shade. You guys know this is like my favorite color ever. As you can see, I've hit pan. I've hit pan in the center. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. I went out to breakfast with my friend this morning. Then we went in the mall, and then we went back to my house, and we like kind of dance around a little bit because we like to twerk a lot. So we kind of go crazy when we're at my house. And then I like chilled for an hour, and then I went to work like a dumb breaker shift for like 3 hours. So I'm pretty tired. But that's what it looks like. I'm pretty confident in using this shade up. I mean, like, it's not very hard for me to hit pan on these because they're not very deep. It's pretty much just like the top of this, and that's really it. So that's why it's not that hard for me to hit pan on them. But some of the, like this one took me a while, and this one did too, but then the other two only took me like 2 or 3 tries, and I'm already hitting pan on them. So I don't want to like, but I'm just still going to include them anyway. And then the next one I've had the longest out of all of them, but this one is discontinued, so that's why I'm trying to hold on to it as long as possible. But if I use this up, I'm going to be a little bit upset. But I just wanted to say I did hit pan on ColourPop Super Shock Shadow Pearlized in the shade Ibiza as well. It's such a gorgeous turquoise shade, and I've pretty much hit a lot of the pan on the center. So there's the second one. Then the third one that I hit pan on, which is crazy because I don't really use this one as often as some of my other shades, but I did hit pan on it, And this one is ColourPop's On the Rocks, and this one is a metallic finish. They're all Super Shock shadows. I don't have to say Super Shock shadow every single time. And then this is what it looks like. It's not that much in the center, but it's enough to include it in this video. But yeah, apparently I already hit pan on it. And then the next one is even more crazy. This one is ColourPop's Waddles. I'm not sure if I included ColourPop highlighters in the video too, but whatever. And this is what it looks like. I've only used this one like 3 times, and I ended up hitting pan on it already, which is crazy, but I ended up hitting pan in the middle already. So this one is a pearlized finish, and this one is also, no, this one is a satin, and this is also, no, it's not Calculated Light shades. This one is one of the new summer shades, so it's basically the newest one that I have, and somehow I already hit pan on it. Alright, and now we're just going to get into one eyeshadow palette, and then we can move on to something else. So you guys know I've been trying to work on my Holy Grail eyeshadow palette, and this one is the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I'm going to say right now I haven't hit pan on any of the shades. It's very hard to hit pan on eyeshadow palettes, especially if you don't use the eyeshadow palette every single day. You guys know I get bored and I can't use one eyeshadow palette every single day. I have to like have some variety. But this is the progress that I've made on it. So just going to give a quick close-up of how much I've used it and what it looks like. So the 2 shades I was really trying to work on was Silk Teddy and Nudie. As you can see, Silk Teddy is probably the shade that I've made the most progress on. If you can see that, that's how much of the center that I've hit. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, I think I might actually be able to hit pan on it by the end of the year. But I've heard that Too Faced shadows are really hard to hit pan on. But you guys know I tried to goal myself to use like really small eyeshadow palettes, and it's still really hard. So that's the first shade, and then the other shade I've been trying really hard on is Nudie. And this one I also have kind of made a little bit of a dent in the center, if you can see that. See that? So this one is like one of my favorite matte shades to put in the crease. That's what I'm wearing in the crease today, and then I'm wearing Silk Teddy on the lid because I've been wearing Silk Teddy on the lid every single time I use this palette because I've been trying to make the most progress on that one. So those are what those look like. And I haven't really made too much progress on the other shades. I mean, you can see a little bit of a dent in Heaven, and maybe these 2 shades, Push Up and Honey Pot. And then Cashmere Bunny, maybe a little bit as well. And then a little bit in Sexpresso. But I am going to try to maybe hit pan on Silk Teddy or maybe even Nudie, but I don't think it's going to be possible for me to hit pan on any of the other shadows. I'm not going to be too hopeful, but I guess we will see. But I have used this a lot the past couple of months. I was really overwhelmed with eyeshadow palettes a couple of months ago, and then I was just like using my old school palettes like constantly because I felt like I used my newer palettes enough that I was going back to older palettes. And I just feel like it won't be too hard for me to use this, but we'll see how long it takes for me to actually hit pan. So I'm just looking at my lipstick again, just kind of annoying me. This is the annoying thing about creamy lipsticks. Oh, sorry, give me one sec. Alright, so anyway, that is it for eyeshadows. So I'm pretty confident on hitting pan on most of those Makeup Geek shadows. So yeah, that is it for that. And now let's move on to blushes and bronzers. So the only bronzer that I'm working on, or contour powder, or whatever you want to call it, is the Marc Jacobs Instamark Dreamer Filter. I'm pretty sure I included this in the video, and this is the progress that I've made on it. I haven't hit pan on either of the shades, but I have hit a pretty substantial dent in them, so I'm just going to show you like up close. If you can see in this side, I've hit pretty substantial dentage on the center, and then this one as well. It is my favorite contouring powder of all time. It's amazing. I just feel like it looks so natural. But I feel like I can feel the pan when I'm dipping my finger in it. It's just such a beautiful undertone. It's like completely neutral, and I love that for like fair skin. So I actually haven't been using it lately though, because I've been so obsessed with the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer that's all I've been using lately. Because I've been just bronzing up my skin lately. I haven't been using... Let me not die. I haven't been contouring it as much because I like the little like summer sun-kissed glow. Instead of like having a strong contour, I've just been using a bronzer instead. But I think I'm going to be using this as a bronzer as well. So I'm going to try that too, and then like hopefully make more progress on it. But I think I've done a pretty good job. On this side, like most of this part is like not even there anymore, because when I first got it, it was like filled to the top, so that's pretty much gone, so that's pretty good. So I'm pretty confident on hitting pan on this. It's not going to be that hard. So that's the only bronzer, and then we're going to get into blushes, but I'm going to say right now I haven't hit pan on any blushes. So I did goal myself on using up 3 of my Holy Grail blushes. The first one is NARS's Madly. I do use this a crap ton, but there's no way that I hit pan on this, so I'm just going to show it to you. I mean, it's going to be really hard for me to use up a blush. It's probably the most challenging, honestly. It's easier for me to use up an eyeshadow than it is for a blush. But this is just the progress I made on it, but you guys know I freaking love this blush. It's like basically my go-to blush if I don't know what other blush to wear, and it's my Holy Grail blush. I love it so much. So that's what it looks like right there. So that's the first one, nothing really to update you on. And then my other Holy Grail blush is Becca's Mineral Blush in Wild Honey. Again, haven't hit pan on this at all. I feel like there's so much product in here anyway that it's going to be really hard for me to hit pan on this anyway. And also I might have to get rid of it pretty soon because these only last 6 months. And I've had it definitely longer than 6 months, probably almost a year. So I'm probably only going to keep it till the end of December, and then I'm going to chuck it. That's what it looks like right there. That one is Wild Honey. It's so beautiful. It's such a warm shade. And I think I'm pretty sure I goaled myself to use up this one as well. But if I didn't, I'm going to add it in just to challenge myself, because why not? So I'm going to add in, if I didn't already, because I watched most of the video, but I didn't watch it all the way through because I was trying to get like a general idea of what I've used up. I know I was pretty lazy, but I pretty much remembered what I wanted to use up. Oh, also I'm not including the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette because I know I mentioned that in the video, but I haven't hit pan on any of them, and I'm not even going to try because I haven't used it half as much as I did last summer. Not to say I don't love it, but I just feel like goaling myself to use up 2 eyeshadow palettes is way too much. So if I didn't mention this already, I'm going to say the MAC Powder Blush in the shade Melba. But again, this one is definitely my most recent purchase. Out of the other 2, I've definitely gotten this one later, so this one's going to be much harder. But this one is Melba. This is my favorite MAC blush because it's amazing. I mean, actually, it is one of my favorites, but I think Margin might be my favorite blush now because it's amazing. But this is one of my favorite blushes as well. It's just so gorgeous. This one is a little bit more peachy toned than the other 2, and it's just so pretty. So that one is Melba right there. I love blush, so I love swatching them too. So those are the blushes, and then we're just going to get into the 2 highlighters that I goaled myself to use up. I haven't hit pan on either of these either, but these do take a while to hit pan on, but I have made some good progress on them. The first one is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. So that's what it looks like. As you can see, I've hit some really good, a good dent on the center of these. This one I've had almost a year, and I use this so freaking much anyway. But yeah, that's what it looks like if it doesn't blind you. But as you can see, I've there's a pretty substantial dip in there, so I might actually hit pan on the center of this at some point. And that's Champagne Pop because I have to swatch it all the time. This was Jaclyn Hill's. So these are my favorite highlighters of all time, so I'm hoping to hit pan on at least one of them. And these last 2 years, so these last a lot longer than the blushes, and I've only had these like a year, so I have like a full year to try and work on these. So this one is Opal. It's so beautiful and gorgeous. And this one, again, I've hit some pretty good progress on the center. So I'm really like excited that I made that much progress on them, but I use these so much, almost once or twice a week at least. So this one is Opal right here. I'm not wearing either of them today. I'm wearing the Anastasia Glow Kit in that Gleam, which is one of my favorites as well. It's so beautiful. But I pretty much wear those on like a daily basis. I love it. Love them. And then all we have is a couple of powders and then lipsticks. So the powder I'm going to be adding in, I'm pretty sure that I didn't include this in the last video because I don't think I even had it yet. I'm pretty sure I got this in like January or February, and around the time I recorded the video, I think was like after Christmas. So I'm going to be adding in the MAC Relay Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium because I use this pretty much on a daily basis. And this is what it looks like right now. I've hit a pretty substantial dent on the center of it. And I love this powder. This is my favorite finishing powder ever. It's so good for dry skin. You have no idea. It just looks so pretty. It might be a little dry if you, it might be a little bit drying, and then like my favorite YouTubers like Kathleen and Jaclyn said that this was their holy grail powder, and then they tried the Giorgio Armani one, and then they like fell in love with that one, which I should have gotten in my last Sephora haul, but I kind of forgot to get it. I should have gotten it though. But oh my god, I'm so tired. But then I also exchanged the Anastasia liquid lipstick that I got and got a Stila one instead, because then I found a perfect hot pink shade that was from Stila, which I love Stila so much that the Stila liquid lipstick so much that I returned the Anastasia one because it was coming out all streaky and I didn't even wear it out because I knew I wasn't going to like it. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this, but I don't think it's going to be hard for me to use this one up either, so I'm very excited to try and use this up. But yeah, I should have gotten the Giorgio Armani one because everybody falls in love with that after they have used this for a really long time, but it's not to say that this one sucks. It's an awesome powder, but they do say it's more drying than the Giorgio Armani one if you end up starting to use that one. And then the last powder product is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light. This one is actually expired, so I haven't used it in a little while, but this was so difficult to even try and use up because there's so much freaking product in here. But I'm pretty sure when I got it, it was like filled up to here, and then I got it down to there, so that's pretty good. But as you can see, I've used the crap out of this, but I probably should go repurchase one at some point, but I've been obsessed with the Ethereal Light Powder. It's so beautiful. I love this as a highlight, but I think I love the Ethereal Light one even more as a finishing powder. It's so beautiful. It gives you the most candle-lit glow. I love it. So I've been using that constantly. So I pretty much stopped using this, but I think this was already expired at least a month ago. So yeah, I really love this, but I think I'm going to retire that because it's getting a little bit old. So now let's move on to lipsticks. So, I'm pretty sure that I didn't include this lipstick in my products I want to use up video, but this is actually the lipstick I've made the most progress on, so I really want to share it first because I'm super excited to say I'm going to be adding this into products I want to use up, but I think I might actually use this one up, which is crazy because I've never ever used a lipstick up in my entire life, so I'm very excited to try to use one up. So the lipstick I'm going to be adding in is the NARS Audacious Lipstick in the shade Raquel. You guys already know these are basically like one of my holy grail formulas anyway, so I don't know why I didn't include it in my other video anyway. I mean, I'm going to have to watch it back, and then if I'm like, oh yeah, I included it, if I watch it back and say, oh yeah, I did it, then I'm going to feel like retarded, but I'm pretty sure I skipped to the end of the video to see if I included it or not. You know what? Let's see. It's already pulled up anyway. It's just me talking. All right, I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. So I'm going to be including this shade. I only have 2 shades in this anyway, so I don't know why I just didn't include it anyway. But this is the progress that I've made on it. Do you see that? Do you see how much progress I made on that? This had a full N on it before, and now it's gone. It only says ours, okay? So that's how much I've used of it. And I don't think really that much product comes in here anyway when you first get it. Like maybe it's like up to here. But that's still like basically I've used it like halfway. I am wearing it today because I've been trying to have myself wear it a lot more often the past month or so. It's very hard for me to rotate lipsticks, I know, but I'm trying to like in my head, I always do 2 new lipsticks and then 2 throwbacks. You know, like anytime I have work, that's just how my system is. I know that's weird because like, you know, it's sad and like I need to goal myself to do other things in life besides like lipstick goals. But anyway, I applied it today and the N was halfway, and then after I used it today, the N is gone. So I already made a legit progress on it just today. And I did wear it like a few weeks ago as well. So I am going to be throwing this in there because I feel like I might use this up. So I'm super excited to include this. This is like one of my all-time favorite nude shades, and I will be definitely repurchasing this if I do use it up. So that will be very exciting. And these are pretty pricey, so that would be awesome if I use it up. And then the other 2 lipsticks, obviously, are 2 MAC lipsticks. The first one is MAC's Matte Lipstick in the shade Honey Love, and this is the progress that I've made on this one. That's what it looks like. I probably should add Blankety to this too, but whatever. We're just going to add it at the end of the year. I'm already trying to work on 3 lipsticks, and I added this one in, so I think we'll be okay. And that's what that one looks like, but this is the progress that I've made on it. So that's pretty good. I would have to say they like start like up here, and this is definitely one I've had for a while. This is like my holy grail nude color, and then the other one is the other matte shade in Velvet Teddy. And I've made some pretty good progress on that one as well. These are like my go-to shades for like the gym and stuff. I love wearing these for like an everyday basis. And I just wanted to show you a comparison of the 2. Sorry. So the one on the lighter shade is Honey Love, like the one on the right here. And then the one on the left in this hand is, I could just point. Okay, this one is Honey Love and this one is Velvet Teddy. So that is the progress that I've made on both of them. Velvet Teddy, they're pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. So yeah, I'm still working on those 2. Hopefully I'll be able to use those up because I use these a crap ton. And then the last 2 regular lipsticks are the 2 ColourPop lipsticks in the shade Cookie and Oh Snap. So this is the progress that I've made on both of these. These come like full when you first get them, so I think I've done a pretty good job. Alright, so let's show these 2. I've definitely used up Cookie more. So that's what they look like. This one is Cookie. See how much I've used of that? And then this one is Oh Snap. So I'm hoping to use up Cookie by the end of this year. I don't think it's going to be too hard for me because I do use that quite a lot. I hate like the packaging though because they're like so thin and like whoosh. But yeah, these are super gorgeous as well. I love these shades. I'm just going to swatch them for you. Oh my god, that was so dumb. That was so stupid. I like was going to swatch it like that was so dumb. I swatched it while it was still sticking up. that was literally like one of the dumbest things I've ever done, but at least it's still in the tube. And it basically is like being held together now, but that was really dumb. Okay, and let's not drop the cap either. But anyway, you can tell I'm really tired. So this one is Oh Snap, and then this one is Cookie. Okay, so those are the two shades that I'm working on from ColourPop. And then the last shades that I wanted to talk about, but pretty much I made no progress on any of these, is this mini liquid lipstick set from ColourPop, because I did not try and goal myself to use up any liquid lipsticks, so I feel like that would be way too hard for me. But this is the set that I wanted to work on, excuse me. And this was the holiday set that came out during the holidays, obviously, of like all limited edition shades from ColourPop. So we have Last Dance, Bianca, Be Merry, Glitter, and Last Dance. I would have to say I've worn all of these a lot, but Be Merry was the only one that I've only just worn like 2 weeks ago, because you guys know I have so many lipsticks now that it's hard to like use each and every one. But that being a sign, I feel like it's going to be really hard for me to use up even one of these, because you don't need too much of these, or because they're very pigmented and super matte, so you don't really need to use too much of it. But maybe Last Dance, I've used this a lot. I'm not sure which one's Last Dance. Yeah, this one's Last Dance. Bianca's my least favorite though. It sucks, so I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to use that one up. But I love wearing Last Dance during the holidays, but that's only during the holidays, so we'll see. And then Glitter, I definitely wear a lot, actually. I just wore this to a wedding like a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see. I do wear glitter a lot in the fall and winter, so we're going to see about these. I'm still going to keep them in here, but again, it might be pretty difficult. But yeah, that is it. Oh my god, I'm so tired, so I'm going to go. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as TBW819, and my Twitter is PokerFace819, and my Snapchat is PokerFace819. Let me know in the description box, in the comments below, what product you are super excited to be working on this year, and what you're trying to goal yourself to use up. Because honestly, it feels so good if you have a lot of makeup and you use up certain things that you use a lot, because then you got your money's worth out of it. And also comment down below and let me know which product you think I'm going to be able to use up the fastest, or which one I'm going to use up in general, because yeah, I can make this video at the end of the year and be like, I used up only 2 or 3 more products. So we'll see. So bye guys.